Hi, this is Oscar from HAMMERFALL backstage at Arena Wien, ready for another sold-out show tonight. And you are watching Stormbringer, the Austrian heavy sign.
This is Stormbringer TV. My name is Siegfried and I'm here at the Arena in Vienna, and right beside me is the guitarist and main man of HAMMERFALL, Mr. Oscar Dronjak. Oscar, thank you very much for taking the time to do this interview with us. How are you doing? How's the tour?
The tour is going exceptionally well. I think we will be probably sold out tonight. There was only a couple of tickets left and they will sell at the door. And that will be probably the 10th or 11th sold-out show so far, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it seems sort of like a comeback for HAMMERFALL, even though you were never really gone.
Yeah.
So, do you have that feeling yourself, or is this just something that the public has a perception of because of the longer break that you took after the last album?
Well, the last tour that we did for the Infected album, there was so many problems revolving around this tour. And it wasn't the most successful tour we have ever done either. So I guess we felt like we had something to prove this time. And with the album doing so well that it did, I mean, it came out in September, so it's been out for several months now. It was the planning for this stage was really well done. We planned for the recording and release of the album. We started planning 2 years ago almost. And together with the record label, and then with All Access, our booking agency, also the tour came on top of that. So we decided very early on that we'll do this tour in January and February. So it was all a plan that we thought this is the best way to do it, and it turned out to be a really good way. So.
Excellent, but even though the album was a pretty good success, and I think critical reception and reception by the fans was also great, the tour didn't start off without a hitch, because you had to shift a few personnel problems around. On the one hand, there is Fredrik, who had to take a break because he became a dad.
Yes.
And then Anders also left the band. So, I mean, that came as a surprise, I think, to the fans probably more than Fredrik's temporary relief, and probably to you as well. Was it surprising for you, or was this something that had been coming for a while and we're just looking for the right moment to move to the next level?
It was very surprising for us when it happened, that it happened so sudden. But when you started thinking about it, I don't think it was a big surprise anyway, because he is 10 years older than me, for example. He has been doing this since he was a teenager. He's 53 now. I'm not surprised he didn't want to do another leg around the world again. You know, he's been done it to death. Plus, he also has a new child. He has two older ones, but also a newborn. Well, he's 3 and something. Okay. So, so he wants to spend more time at home, being based around home. So I think it was a fairly obvious decision, but none of us really did see it coming because we didn't say anything. So.
Yeah. So, but I guess we can expect Fredrik to be back on bass, but have you already decided on a new man on the drums as a permanent member, or is this something you're saving for after the tour?
I think because it was such a sudden decision, we had to scramble to find somebody. When David David Wallin, the drummer that we have now, he came. Pontus had known him for a while from before. Joachim and Pontus sat down and had a coffee with him and just sort of felt his, took the pulse, is what we say in Swedish, just to, check out the lay of the land and see if he was interested, what kind of guy he was and all that. And they said, they sort of, okay, let's do this. Our gut feeling says this is the right decision. And I didn't even meet him until we started rehearsing, so I trusted their gut instincts for that. And it turned out to be perfect. I don't think that this could have been any better. He's really a great guy, a great drummer, and to play drums in HAMMERFALL is not super difficult. I mean, you don't have to be the greatest drummer ever, because that's gonna.
No, but it's still important to get the feel.
Yeah, of course.
I
mean, he's been playing drums for a long time. He's. How old is he now? Yeah. So he's been doing this for a long time too. But what is at least as important, if not even more important, is that the guy he fits in with the other guys. So he's a nice guy and fun to hang around with, hang out with, and he really fit that bill perfectly. So it's gone very smooth, a lot smoother than I thought that this was gonna go. And having Stefan sitting in Vienna, having him on bass is just. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and then it's quite a bit of a surprising view on stage, I think, you know,
Yeah.
for fans that, like me, have been following for a couple of years and going back to the Renegade days when
Right.
he was still doing the guitars. But was this also a quick decision? Did you approach Stefan, or was it like a first choice, a first idea that you had?
He played at Wacken with us, and he played a couple of shows before that, just a couple of songs, just here's a treat to you, the audience, whatever. And everybody felt it was fantastically fun. And after Wacken, this was about a month after, maybe yeah. Well, I don't actually remember the timeline, but it was after Wacken anyway. Joachim sent me a text message like, "This is a crazy idea, but what do you think about this?" And it was Stefan on bass, and then I said, "He's never ever gonna do that. Forget it." But he called him up and said, he could definitely think about doing it. He's interested. It's like, yeah, go for it. It's a great replacement. Not only, I mean, like I was talking about the personal side. I mean, Stefan is a guy that we had kept in touch with the whole time. I mean, he visits us in the studio sometimes, and we hang out. We have go to concerts and have beers every once in a while. So he's a friend still. I mean, that we are on the same level, both emotionally and socially, I guess you could say. He's fun to hang out with, and he also, anybody who can play guitar can play bass, basically, more or less.
Yeah, just needs a bit of practice probably on the
Sure.
right feel, but
Of course,
yeah.
there's a learning period, so to speak. But you have 50% of the work is done at least, so you don't have to wonder what notes you're hitting yourself. It's just hitting them in a different way. But anyway, he has been also playing. And this is also a treat for the fans. We do a medley with songs that, songs from his era of Hammerfall, basically, for like 5 or 6 minutes. And then he gets to play guitar and Pontus does the bass. So it's and nobody knows as well. I mean, of course, if you've read the reports or something, you know. But most people don't do that. I think
don't spoil the experience.
Exactly. So it's kind of a fun thing, and you can tell by see the people in the audience to react. What? Because he comes out with the guitar, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, I think. But aside from recording the new album, we also talked about this in our last interview. You've also been busy, and you actually wrote a book on Hammerfall, on the history that you had with this band. You told me that it had been released only in Swedish so far, and you're working on a translation. Is there any progress on that yet, or are you just too busy with the album?
Well, I'm not involved at all in this. This is a publisher's deal, of course. But I told them a year and a half ago, we're doing this tour in January in Germany and Austria and a lot of German-speaking countries. Get the translation done in German for that until then, because you're losing a huge opportunity to promote it. They didn't get it done, so I don't know. Yeah, that fucking sucks. I'm really disappointed in that, to be honest, because I told them over and over again on this period of time that they're really missing out if they don't get it. But it's also a matter of, I guess, finances, because if you translate it yourself, there's a huge investment that they have to make, and they try to sell it through an agent to a German publisher, and I don't know if they haven't succeeded or not. But our books is like an album. You can't make a deal in January and have the book out in February. It takes 8 months or whatever. I say that has to be done too. But also the planning. I mean, they plan for the releases a long time in advance. So I really don't know. I'm gonna send them a mail when we get back and see what's up with that. I mean, it's we have so many German fans or German-speaking fans. It is a waste not to release it.
You're probably the most German-sounding Swedish band there is.
Yeah.
If you go back to the
that's a very good expression. I never thought about it.
It's the other way around. All the German bands try to sound like a Swedish band or like a Scandinavian band, but in your case, I think you got a pretty good niche on that. Now, something completely different though. Last time we met was at Masters of Rock a couple of years ago, and we talked about wrestling a little bit. And you told me a story about how you met, I think it was Chris Jericho at the WrestleMania 21 after party when you were going to the Motorhead show.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong
it's.
on
I
that.
met well, everybody was there,
Yeah.
and Chris I met 2 days before that at the Motorhead show they did on Friday, and I think Fozzy was opening up. I was so jet lagged I don't really remember much of that, but I remember Triple H introduced Motorhead, and I thought that was fucking great. And I met Chris at the after party for that show, and that's probably the story I told you. He called me over and, hey Oscar, how are you doing?
Exactly.
Okay. But then we went to the after party for WrestleMania as well after having been backstage at the WrestleMania for the whole time, and you know there was in LA, so there were a lot of people there, a lot of people who wasn't actually involved in the WWE at that time or the show or anything. Yeah, they just hung out there and came to you know people just thought, well, this is this guy and this that guy and it's crazy. I think that was one of the best nights of my entire life, actually, just because I've been such a huge fan for such a long time. I thought about this a lot of times since then. I describe it to describe it to somebody involved in the metal business would be who doesn't like wrestling or doesn't know anything about it. It would be at the teenage me would be at backstage at a festival in, let's say, '85 with Twisted Sister, with Wasp, Accept, Judas Priest, Dio. All of your favorite bands are right there. This is exactly the same thing. That's
I can totally relate to that. Has there never been like the idea now that Chris Jericho especially is focusing more on Fozzy that you guys would do a tour together maybe? I mean the music is not so far off.
No, I mean we could definitely do it. They're getting a lot bigger now with this latest album. I understood, which is great. This would have been a really good band to have on tour for this tour, but
sort of a different crowd a bit maybe.
I guess so, yeah. But he pulls
still,
the wrestling guys too,
exactly.
not just Fozzy type of music people. So he's. I don't know how many people they have at their shows. I don't know if they do any. They're mostly focused on the UK, I think.
They've been here in Vienna actually twice.
Really?
They went once. I think they were supporting Soil.
Okay.
And last time they were here already on a solo show,
Okay.
like at still a smaller venue, but still like the mid-size.
Right.
So I think they're growing here as well.
Yeah.
So I think
Cool.
they're forced to be reckoned with in Europe as well.
Yeah. But hopefully next time we have an album out together,
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would love to do it.
How did you like the Royal Rumble this year?
You know, this is funny.
And you don't have to be politically correct here, you know.
No, I'm not following it so much as I used to do.
More MMA now, right?
Yeah, I kind of. I mean, when they asked you to watch 2 or 3 hours of Raw plus 2 hours of SmackDown and then a pay-per-view every now and then, I couldn't keep up with it. It was impossible. So I'd read about it for a long time, but then I started. The first of all, I guess that has to do with the people whose reviews I was reading, but they were all always so fucking negative. It's like, yeah, they could have done this, they should have done that, and blah blah blah.
The dirt sheets.
Yeah, it was online, like Torch, for example. I used to subscribe to that for many years. But anyway,
That's thing is that.
no, that's Wrestling Observer.
Observer, sorry.
But anyway. So I'm not as outraged as I understand the smarks are for this, but I definitely thought it was when because they were in Philly and when Bubba Ray Dudley came out, I thought the hair on my arms would never go down again. That was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. I don't think it felt like they didn't expect this reaction or this big reaction anyway.
Just a mid-card
yeah,
guy.
he just came out and then was gone. Like, without, I thought they would end him in a more
ceremonious.
Yeah, like something with a table or something. Because when he said "get the tables," and everyone was like, "Fuck, this is really happening." But then there were no tables, unfortunately. But I did enjoy the Royal Rumble very much. I thought it was really, really good. It was a bit in the middle. It was down like that. But and I also read. Unfortunately, I knew who was winning it. I'm thanks to Chris Jericho on Twitter. He posted something. I tried to avoid it, but I missed it. I didn't avoid that one. So I knew who was winning it. But I'm surprised at the reaction he got. The people were actually booing him.
Only because they had brought out Brian.
Right.
So
But what I didn't realize that because I thought the last time I saw the Royal Rumble last time as well, he was really a powerful force, and I thought they were heels then, but he was something to be reckoned with, and they were cheering him then. and I guess that's why they weren't cheering him now, because he was supposed to be a babyface.
Yes.
But it was I enjoyed it very much, the whole match, and the other matches as well. I thought were really good.
Especially the World Title match.
Yeah.
But I think it's about over time that HAMMERFALL actually play at one of those events, because they always have those bands, and of course it's more the US type of rock and metal that they're featuring, but it would fit so perfectly, like something like Wave Warrior.
I think we would do really well with that, but that's so much politics and finances and labels putting them up, because I'm sure they buy the time slots from the WWE. But that's funny you should mention this, because the way I've always approached our songwriting, well, not always approach it, but somehow I get the feeling that when a lot of the songs would be great, for various. I mean, you would have to adjust them a little bit, of course, but or take this part and do something with it,
It's always good to have an impressive start.
That's very important. And I've sort of borrowed a few things from wrestling themes here and there over the years.
But hey, Jim Johnston is awesome.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, when Demolition, the Demolition theme, whatever they called that one. I just loved that one. I thought it was the best. That was an actual song too, not just an intro. I also loved Crush. Crush's it was just a metal and of course Ultimate Warrior,
of course,
the Rockers,
the first real heavy metal theme, and
exactly.
I have to say that the Hulk Hogan's theme, of course, is written by Jimmy Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Derringer was it? Jimmy Hart did
Derringer.
It's still a great song, like in its own right.
I remember when he came back to the WWE and walked out to the Hollywood Hogan theme. I was like, oh man, I don't. This Voodoo Child, right? Yeah. They made a huge mistake, and then when you heard it,
they got corrected quite quickly.
Yeah, that was the greatest reaction. I mean, this is something I wish I would have done. I wish I would have been in the arena once when the Hogan All American theme came on, because that's just perfect.
Like you'd be 8 years old again, or maybe 12. I don't know.
Well, I wasn't so into it in those days like that. I actually got really into it when I was about 19 or so.
So it's all the Attitude.
No, I'm old, man. This was in 91.
I'm a lawyer, so I'm not good with numbers.
Of course. You only know how to make people believe you're good with numbers. No, but seriously,
I'm also a very bad lawyer, as you can see.
This was in 91, so it was actually Hogan was still around then in those days. That's true. But I was never a Hogan. I was even back then. I was captivated by Undertaker or Jake the Snake Roberts, or the bad guys, Sid Vicious or Sid Justice. I mean, I love Sid Justice. Then I didn't know about his reputation as a wrestler was sucked, but I didn't care. I saw the character and I loved it. I loved also Adam Bomb. I thought it was cool.
He's already passed on, hasn't he?
I don't know actually. But he wasn't really successful anywhere.
No, was it Adam Bomb? I'm not sure right now.
No. But and also don't forget Razor Ramon and Diesel.
Of course.
Fucking hell. Razor really scared me. I mean, not scared, but he was. And the one person I really got afraid of, weirdly enough, and I was 20 years old or 21. It's Giant Gonzalez, if you remember him. This fucking bodysuit, and this giant big guy.
And I mean, you're not a short guy yourself, so it's like when you say giant, it's a freaking giant.
Yeah. I met The Undertaker at this WrestleMania party as well. I got a picture of him shaking hands with him. I look like a kid, man. like a teenage child or something. He's so big, it's ridiculous.
Okay, well, that's some really cool stories there. But now, going back
to end the wrestling thing. The Turbinenhalle in Oberhausen, we played second or third show on the tour. It's a big place, so we had one venue here, and then in the same building there's another venue right next to us. Was a wrestling show.
Really?
Was West Side Extreme Wrestling from Germany, obviously, regional local thing. But our tour manager knew that I like wrestling, so he went to them and asked if we could go in for free, just show up passes. Fine, no problem. So and it was really fun. The audience was not so so educated. They didn't really know there was a lot of silence going on. But it was fun to watch because they really made an effort, everybody of them. So I bought a WXW shirt, which I'm wearing on stage every night since then, because it's a very nice looking shirt.
Yeah, and especially if no one else would have one.
No, exactly. That's the whole deal. So, end of wrestling now.
Okay, let's end the wrestling. Let's go back to the music for just one more little thing. What are the plans after this tour, and how long is the tour going on? Because you've been touring already since the summer with the first few shows at the festivals. I remember Vienna Still Rock, where we also played the first day, and you played the second day, I think.
Saturday, I believe we were there.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Well, the thing is, I became a father for the first time right after that. So right when the release of the album came out. So that's been occupying my mind a lot. Yeah, a little bit. But the thing is, we did those 3 shows. Then I was in father mode or parent mode, whatever, for a while, and took care of until after Christmas when we did this tour. So for me, the tour is just restarted basically, and we have what's today? Well, I think it's 4. This is including today. We have 4 more shows, and then we go home. Okay. For a while, and we've been out for 4.5 weeks at that point. So it's nice fairly break, and then after that, we're gonna do festivals all over, of course, as much as we can, basically.
I mean, you also did a pretty cool show at tour down in South America. I think we along with that guy and Gotthard.
Exactly.
I think that must have been pretty big shows and pretty big crowds there.
Right? There was really, it was fun as hell. I mean, the guy, we knew them from years and years before, so they were good friends of ours. But I've never met Gotthard before. Okay. Pontus knew them. He toured with them, or he was on tours with them somehow. I don't know in what capacity, but maybe Gotthard and the Poodles actually toured together. I think that's what it was. But so he knew that they were nice guys, but you had to find out for yourself. And this like really, really cool atmosphere every day. Nobody was complaining. Nobody was high on themselves, or it's just everybody was there working towards the same goal to get the best, to give the people the best show that we possibly can. And they turned out to be really, really fun guys to hang out with too. So it was a brilliant, brilliant tour.
All right, that sounds exciting. And I hope we have some more new albums from HAMMERFALL coming our way soon.
Well, I don't know about soon, but I can guarantee you that there will be more albums coming out.
Excellent. So, last message for the fans in Austria and the rest of the world?
Well, for Austrians, Graz and Wien both more or less sold out. Graz yesterday was sold out in advance. It's a fucking honor to play for you guys. It was such a great time yesterday we had at the show. I'm sure that there's going to be just as good a show tonight for us as well. So thank you for all the support. You're the best.
All right, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and hope to see you soon next time.